Hey friends, there's a kind of tiredness that sleep can't fix. It's not in your muscles or your bones, I'm telling you. It's in your soul. It's the kind of exhaustion that comes from constantly being on. From the endless scroll, the comparisons, the noise, the pressure to always keep up. We carry the weight of digital noise with us every single day. Every notification, every opinion, every post that makes us feel a little less than enough. We wake up, and before our feet touch the floor, our thumbs are already moving. We check messages, likes, comments, searching for connection in pixels and validation in numbers. But what we find instead is fatigue. Soul fatigue. Our minds are full, our hearts are restless, and our spirits are starving. But here's the good news. Your soul was never meant to live plugged into a screen. It was meant to live plugged in to God. I want to tell you a story. A friend of mine named Sarah once told me that she felt like she was disappearing. She was always online, posting updates, answering messages, comparing her life to everyone else's. She said, "Doug, I feel like I'm living for the feed. I can't stop, but I'm so tired." And it wasn't just tiredness from lack of sleep. It was emptiness, like her joy had been drained through the glass of her phone. Then, one weekend, her phone broke. It just stopped working. And at first I remember she panicked and then said it felt like her whole world fell silent. No notifications, no updates, no constant stream of voices. But as the hours passed, something changed. She went outside and took a walk. She watched the sunset without taking a picture of it. She prayed out loud, awkwardly at first, and then with tears streaming down her face. And she said to me that for the first time in years, she could feel again. She could hear herself think. And she believed she could hear God. And that broken phone became her blessing, because when the noise stopped, her soul finally spoke. In Mark 1, verse 35, we read, "Very early in the morning, while it was still dark, Jesus got up, left the house, and went off to a solitary place where he prayed." And in Luke 5, verse 16, it says, Jesus often withdrew to lonely places and prayed. So think about that for just one moment. Jesus, the Son of God, was constantly surrounded by people who needed him. Crowds pressed in, the sick reaching out. The disciples had questions, and the demands never stopped. And yet, he withdrew. Not once and not occasionally, but often. He unplugged from the world to plug in to his Father. He knew what we forget, that silence isn't a luxury, it's a lifeline. And even Jesus needed time to breathe, to listen, to rest. And I love this because if he did it, so should we. And we've been taught that rest is weakness, that busyness equals purpose, and that's not what Scripture teaches. From the very beginning, God established rest as sacred. He worked 6 days creating the world, and on the seventh, he stopped. Not because he was tired, but to set an example. You see, the Sabbath wasn't made as a restriction. It was made as a gift. It's God's way of saying to us, children, you don't have to hold the whole world together. That's my job. And rest isn't idleness. It's trust. It's how we say to God, I know you've got this, even when I stop. I firmly believe that we've gotten so used to the noise, the endless chatter of the world, that we've made distraction a habit and stillness a stranger. But ask yourself, when was the last time you sat in silence? No music, no screens, no agenda, and just breathed. When was the last time you heard the sound of your own heartbeat or the wind moving through the trees? You see, stillness isn't empty. It's where God speaks. The prophet Elijah didn't find God in the earthquake or the fire or the wind, but in a whisper. And sometimes the reason we can't hear God is because our lives are simply too loud. So, my friends, here's my challenge to you. Take a fast, not from food, but from your phone. Maybe for a day, maybe even just a few hours. Turn off your notifications, step outside, and let your mind detox and your heart recalibrate. Instead of scrolling, pray. Instead of posting, listen. Instead of comparing, give thanks. Go outside and look at the sky, the same one Jesus looked at when he prayed. Sit by a tree, watch the wind, feel the quiet. And as the noise fades, you're going to begin to sense his presence again. Not because he left, but because you have finally stopped long enough to notice him again. Because when you unplug from the digital, you plug into the divine. When you stop reaching for your phone, you start reaching for your Father. And that's when your soul starts to heal. You see, Jesus said in Matthew 11, verse 28, "Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest." And that invitation still stands today. He's calling you to step away from the screens, the comparisons, the chaos, and sit with him in the quiet. Maybe today is your broken phone moment. Maybe this is your divine interruption, your gentle nudge from God saying, it's time to rest, child. You don't need to keep proving yourself. Just be still and know that I am God. Because peace doesn't come from Wi-Fi. It comes from the one who formed your soul. And when you finally disconnect from the world, you reconnect with heaven. So today, take that step. Unplug, breathe, listen. Let your heart find rest in the arms of the one who never needed a signal to reach you. That's where you'll find peace. That's where you will find God. That's where your soul will finally find rest. And may God bless you, my friends.